Hey, what is up, Patreon peeps? It's Rich. All right, I'm going to knock out a quick 10-minute video. I wanted to end the month with something really fun for you alls. Um, I express this a lot, but I really do deeply appreciate the support that I got on Patreon. It means a lot to me. It's never been unnoticed, and it's I work a lot, and then doing YouTube was a lot of work, and so sometimes I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I should create like a credit sheet or something, like a digital credit sheet that thanks all the patrons. I mean, I've seen different ways that people do it on YouTube. But I've never had the time. I mean, I'm always multitasking. I'm trying to ink every day, and then at the time, do the YouTube channel, and then hopefully work on my own stuff if I have the energy. So anyway, but yeah, what I thought I would do is put up a series of short videos to kind of finish the month, so that anybody that kicked in for Patreon this month feels like they got their money's worth. Even if it's $1, it still means something to me. I've always said that, and Patreon was always just a tip jar. It wasn't, I never set it up to be something like, oh, this tier you're going to get this. It's like, if you can afford $10 and you tip me $10, that's great. Like, again, I really, really appreciate it. But if you only have $1, it's good to go too. And I try to, um, you know, a lot of it was just stay on YouTube. Patreon to me was like stick to YouTube. The reason that I would keep doing YouTube videos was the Patreon support. So anyway, but let's talk about the art a little bit. So I've been drawing during the day. It's really fun. I'm starting to see some progress. It's super duper cool. And then what I do is on the side, like if I have a little bit of time in the morning or whatever, I'll cross-reference comic books, because ultimately that's where it's all headed. And real quickly you see, like, if you're drawing in your sketchbook, um, yeah, I guess it depends on what you draw in your sketchbook, but you look at comic book pages and you realize it really is a different animal. A little shot of the motorcycle right there. It's great. This is Mark Silvestri, Wolverine. These are called Essential. They're really, really good. They're black and white reprints of the books. Mark covers about 3. There's a John Buscema, Mark Silvestri one, and then 2 that have just they're chock full of Mark stuff in black and white. And yeah, so I just, if I have a little bit of downtime and I'm not drawing, which is honestly quite rare right now, it's really, really good for me to grab, comic books that I think might relate to my work. And I'm not saying that Mark's stuff does. This is more just a show video. But it's always good to look at art in black and white so that you don't get caught up in the color. And, and it's good to look at sequentials if that's where you're headed with your stuff, because it's a different beast, and you're called on to do a lot of different things in a comic book. So I thought this would be fun to look at, and again, I'll try to get a few of these up before the end of the month, so that everybody feels like they got their money's worth for this month, since I'm not doing YouTube. This will be a private video just for Patreon. But yeah, everything's going really, really good. I bailed all social media. I didn't want any distractions. I still, like, in the morning, if I'm like, I hang out at Starbucks usually for about 30 minutes in the morning, kind of sort of get my brain working. I usually have to I drop my kid off at school, and then I hit the grocery store and Starbucks. But I'll like go on Pinterest and look at art, or Tumblr, and so that's my social media experiences. I go to places where there's not like active commentary, but I'm still looking at a ton of art. I'm such a huge fan of concept art and all the digital painted stuff. I really, really love that work. There's so many great, like, people on ArtStation too. I'm sure everybody knows about ArtStation at this point, but it's kind of like the new DeviantArt. I mean, it's not new by any means, but if you enjoy DeviantArt, ArtStation is kind of similar to that, where it's people put up galleries. Some people's galleries are pretty shallow, though. They're not super deep. They're really like online portfolios for people to probably get work more than that. And I've been going back to DeviantArt and checking out art there. Again, I don't want to make it sound like all the time, but I've gone to DeviantArt twice and looked at art for, maybe 30 or 40 minutes during those two different times, and had a lot of fun. I feel like I'm in the game because I'm drawing so much. So when I look at art now, I have a way, like my, what would you call it? Like my, I'm trying to think of it. It wouldn't be like perception, but you like have a point of view. Like if I've been drawing like girls for the last week, and then I see someone else that draws a girl, I can really look at it and see what they do different than me. And if I have a little spot on a figure that maybe like I go, I never can, like the shoulder blade does this like weird thing, or like how do you do a fold like right there on that arm, I can really narrow in and focus in on what little bits and pieces of gaps I might lack. And so you really start to kind of pull things from everywhere, because you really have an opinion and a point of view on what you're working on. I know exactly like 3 things that I need to work on right now that are little gray areas for me. And, each day now I spend a little bit of time on them. And then once I've sort of conquered that, then I can move on to other things. So hopefully that helps. But if you're not drawing, you're really only going to understand the words and the concept of what I'm talking about. But it'll really take on a deeper meaning if you are drawing a lot, and you'll totally know what I'm talking about. But yeah, nothing beats just sitting and pounding through drawings. And I would say if I draw about 5 to 6 hours a day now, my own stuff, and then work a full day on top of it. I rarely pull out any kind of reference when I'm drawing. It's a very, very small part of the process for me. I just keep trying things until stuff looks better, and working on it that way. And then when I'm not drawing, I will go and do it. And again, if I have a blank spot, then I'll go and I'll go, when I draw this stuff, it kind of reminds me of Adam Hughes, or it looks a little like I'm getting kind of a Jim Lee vibe on this, or Mignola, or whatever it is. And then I might go and like look at how they do it, and then you sort of plug it into your formula, and then it kind of disintegrates and becomes sort of like your version of it. Potentially, you know what I mean? Like that's sort of the idea, is like, maybe like you draw eyes and you go like, man, I don't know, like my eyebrows, like they're just not, it doesn't look believable. Like it's kind of the facial expression, but it's kind of not. So anyway, yeah, these books are really, really cool. I've got probably 15 or 20 of these. Different artists, and I mean, again, it's a really nice way to get a lot of comics at once for a decent price. I don't know how much this is. I'm gonna say like $16. So the cover price is $12.99, and there's probably about, I don't even know, 30 books in here, 30 comics. So totally cool. Mark is really, really talented. He's such a good artist, and to draw like this takes so much confidence and ability. The way he breaks up lines, this doesn't look like Mark here. This is someone else. Yeah, that last page was someone else for sure. But yeah, Mark is like, he's like an illustrator that draws comics. It's crazy. I remember when he was doing Cyberforce, and I would try to sometimes like learn from his stuff, and like the pants, like he would do stuff like this, and it looks pretty good, like it works for me, but man, to try to like learn folds from that is so hard. It wouldn't be as hard for me now, but it's like he suggests so much stuff like this. Like that shirt is so nondescript, or pants, whatever. I'm looking through the phone, it's a little hard to see the whole thing, but you know what I mean, like that's so nondescript, but it works, it reads in the thing well. But trying to learn, the relaxing points and the folds and the crush folds and the Z folds or whatever, it'll be a little tricky learning it directly from Mark, but people do. I'm sure some of the guys from Top Cow probably spent a lot of time pouring over Mark's stuff, and I think over a period of time, then it starts to click. So we're heading into 10 minutes. So I'm going to call this pretty soon. Oh, it's kind of Indiana Jones-ish. But yeah, so look forward to at least a couple more of these. They'll be short, pretty like, no frills, but you get a little quality time with me. We can look at a little bit of art, and I think it'll be fun for people that maybe are jonesing for the channel. I would really, really strongly suggest, though, is at the end of this month, don't do Patreon next month. There's no point. I really, I don't, I don't really want people to do it because I don't really want to have any obligation to do more content. Honestly, I'm done. And I'll be back when I've got all my things that I want to take care of. Professionally lined up. So, if it's the goal is December or January, it could go longer, it could be shorter. I'm sort of tweaking things as I go along, but yeah, I'll be back when I'm back, and when I come back, it'll be cool. So, all right, cool. So 10 minutes. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and have a great day. And yeah, stay tuned. Maybe Sunday I'll do another short video. They'll be short, though. They're all going to be 10-minute videos. I'm not going to do any hour-long video or 30-minute videos. Okay? All right. Bye. I'll talk to you all later.